The trailer for Venom: The Last Dance has dropped, and it's bringing all the weirdly wacky and wonderful vibes we've come to expect from the series over the years, which are, of course, mainly bonkers. We got Tom Hardy doing a funny voice. We got Tom Hardy doing a funny voice while in his Venom goop mode again, and we got Tom Hardy doing a funny voice while riding around on a big venomized horse. Also, there's some dancing. So, all in all, it looks to be just as gonzo as its predecessors. Only there are a couple of things that don't quite make sense on the surface, and it mostly all stems from a couple of pesky post-credit scenes in Venom: Let There Be Carnage and Spider-Man: No Way Home. Also, there's weird internet rumors about a young Peter Parker maybe showing... You get the point. Hey everyone, Ewan for What Culture here, and it's time to discuss what the hell is going on with Venom: The Last Dance. So, first things first, Venom: The Last Dance is of course the latest entry in Sony's years-long weird universe of Spider-Man spin-offs, and the third entry in the Venom series specifically, coming after 2021's Let There Be Carnage. It's set to be Tom Hardy's final bow as the character, with the actor also having made contributions to the story alongside writer and director Kelly Marcel, which sees Eddie Brock and Venom once again on the run, pursued by a shadowy government agency, and also having to contend with a Planet of the Symbiote style or potentially even a null-involved invasion of Earth. All in all, it sounds like a fittingly bombastic end for this incarnation of the character, filled with bigger and goopier symbiotes and more cute Eddie and Venom interactions than you can scream an animated Shocker with. But, as mentioned just before, a lot has actually happened in between the release of Let There Be Carnage and The Last Dance, including the aforementioned No Way Home, a Morbius movie starring Jared Leto, Madam Web, and also the reveal of a Craven movie and probably some other nonsense that'll be coming to screens in the next few years. Maybe Big Wheel or something. All of this has kind of thrown up all sorts of confusion over what is and isn't canon with The Last Dance, whether it ties into the MCU, and if so, what the hell Chiwetel Ejiofor is doing here as not Mordo. Now obviously, this isn't new territory for Venom, as the original film's MCU connections were kept weirdly vague all the way up until its release. But as Sony has gotten braver with sprinkling the alien goo into Disney's franchise, that sense of what the hell is even that has gotten slightly more profound as the years have gone by. This would be fine if someone would come along and strike a definitive line underneath what the intent with the connections is, but that currently isn't the case. Or at least the trailer doesn't do a great job of doing that. Quick recap. In the post-credits scene for Venom: Let There Be Carnage, Eddie is seen chilling at a hotel watching his soaps as he's suddenly blasted into another dimension, namely the same reality as the MCU, and no, I'm not going to call it Earth 616, that's not right, Marvel. The J. Jonah Jameson broadcast at the end of Spider-Man: Far From Home then plays on the TV, as Eddie transforms into Venom and the Lethal Protector leers at the screen, licking it as Tom Holland's Spidey shows up, and he says, "That guy," implying some sort of past experience with Spider-Man that, unsurprisingly, was never picked up on. Also, have to apologize for that Venom impression. That was more Dr. Claw than Venom, but I'm trying to add some theatrics here. My terrible impressions aside, it is worth noting that there was a brief discussion of a symbiote hive mind before the dimension hopping occurs. So maybe there's a chance that Tom Hardy's Venom got beamed info across from Topher Grace's Venom from Spider-Man 3, and that's how he knows who Spider-Man is? Nah, I don't know. The extent of Venom's involvement in the MCU was mitigated to just one film. A small cameo in a post-credit sequence in Spider-Man: No Way Home, where, still stuck on holiday and drinking his way to figuring out what on earth this new reality is, Eddie is then immediately beamed back to his own reality, while a piece of his symbiote is left behind. Maybe for Peter Parker to one day encounter? But aha! The Last Dance trailer contradicts all of that by showing Ejiofor as his soldier character capturing the symbiote at the bar Eddie was in during No Way Home, only it's now in the Venom universe. So has he hopped across to not Earth 616? Or is the implication that when Eddie was disappeared back into his own reality, that a bit of symbiote also fell off there? The logic is weird and honestly has me questioning what the point of trying to bridge these two franchises together was if there was no clear goal. Like, with the terrible Vulture post-credit sequence and Morbius in mind too, it kind of has me living in fear for what could be in store for Kraven. Just saying, a big wheel reveal, a reveal if you will, would make up for all this not really building to anything. Maybe. But aside from my own big wheel demands and questions on movie continuity and stuff like that, and it's probably not worth getting bogged down in these as much as we have, given this is the final Venom film and we're here to just enjoy the vibes as they were, further confusion regarding The Last Dance was thrown up the other week when a supposed leak emerged regarding the film's plot. Given that both the previous Venom movies' plots leaked online in advance as well, it makes sense why this picked up a lot of traction, but let's get into it anyway. At the back end of May, a leak started doing the rounds on social media, and it was a bit of a doozy. The leak claimed that The Last Dance would see Venom trying to kill a young Spider-Man off the back of the fear that his variants keep dying in fights with the Wallcrawler in different dimensions. Only Eddie ends up bonding with Peter like the T-800 from Terminator and sets out to protect him from a new band of symbiotes led by Toxin and the Jury. Juno Temple was said to be playing a lieutenant, while Ejiofor would be portraying the father of someone whose child was killed by Carnage in the previous film. Okay, so immediately, the trailer for The Last Dance refutes some key aspects of this leak. For one, Temple isn't playing a soldier, but a scientist. Two, it makes no mention of an alien invasion, which is obviously the key feature of the plot here. And three, well, there's no Peter Parker, Aunt May, or Uncle Ben to speak of. Eddie does seem to be hitchhiking with a group led by a hippied-up Reese Ifans, just to add an extra bundle of crossed Marvel wires, given he played the Lizard in The Amazing Spider-Man, and there has been some speculation since the trailer that a young Peter could be involved here, but I think it's maybe safe to put this one to bed. Or not, I'm not the boss of you. The one thing the quote-unquote leak did get right is Stephen Graham's Mulligan bonding with Toxin, which is teased in The Last Dance's trailer and follows up from the hint of that transformation taking place in Let There Be Carnage. You can chalk that one up to just common sense predictions if the leak was disingenuous, but if we want to give it the benefit of the doubt, because it's 2024 and who doesn't want to live dangerously, then maybe there could be a chance this was a very early draft leak and that certain aspects have been chopped and changed over the course of production. That's being very generous, obviously, but given the leaks that have hit the previous two Venom films as well, hey, maybe there's a chance. And to the leak's credit, it does kind of have me wishing that we could have gotten a Spider-Man and Venom buddy cop film going on for this particular movie. Like, throw in Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and have Tom Hardy doing his funny voices for the whole runtime. You can't tell me that wouldn't be great, as unlikely as the stars were to ever align for such a premise. I also feel like Hardy deserves that Spidey moment, given the box office success of the series and how much genuine affection he has for Venom as a character. It would be a huge shame if this incarnation never got a tangle with the web slinger, especially with it seeming likely that Tom Holland could be hanging up the web shooters after the next Spider-Man film or potentially Avengers. In any case, despite the continuity kerfuffles and the distinct lack of Big Wheel, which I personally am very disappointed by, Venom: The Last Dance is shaping up to be an epic send-off for Hardy's Eddie Brock, who, barring a cameo in a future MCU crossover, looks to be hanging up his alien tongue for the time being. Still plenty to speculate on from the trailer, including the possibility of maybe some involvement from Null, the symbiote god who made waves in Marvel Comics with the King in Black series from Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman, and whether or not this will actually mean the death of Venom 2, given the "till death do they part" tagline, and all that teasing going on that this may be the end for both characters. Whatever the hell is going on with The Last Dance, we'll find out for certain when it releases October 25th this year. Before then though, let me know your thoughts on all this Sony Marvel confusion down in the comments below. Do you find all the continuity stuff annoying or weirdly charming in that Sony kind of way? And do you have any theories as to who it is Eddie is hitchhiking with as he stays on the run? Really curious to hear your thoughts on this one, so please be sure to do that. And drop the video a like while you're down there, and also maybe drop us a cheeky subscribe too. Either way, thank you for watching. I've been Ewan.
We've been What Culture.
And now I'm gotta go and eat some brains. Bye!